Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how ASA CX allows you to use URL filtering to enforce your acceptable use policy. The first thing that we are going to do is to get some visibility into where the users are going. As soon as I install ASA CX in my network, it starts providing me visibility without the need to configure any CX policies. In these CX instances that I'm going to use, managed by a central prime security manager, most or all traffic is allowed, and let's see where the users are going. After logging into Prime Security Manager, you land on the dashboard and you see the health and performance monitoring information here. If you scroll down, you will see top sources and top destinations. URL related information is shown under top destinations. As you can see here, the top web category on my network is social networking. To get more information, I can drill down into the category. On this page, you'll see the top web destinations in this category. As you can see, most of the traffic under social networking is going to Facebook, which is expected. If you scroll down, you will also see the top users and other details about this web category. So as you can see, this is a powerful way to get visibility into where your users are going. Now let's start creating policies. So let's navigate to the policies view. Assume that I am the network administrator for a hospital. First, I'm going to create a policy for the web categories that must be denied to everyone, including the doctors who have most permissive internet access. To do this, I'm going to create a policy. So I click add policy and write the policy name. So I'm going to deny like adult and other web categories to everybody. Because I'm going to create a policy for denied destinations, I choose the policy action deny. Since this policy applies to everyone on the network, I leave the source as any. Under destination, I click create new object. I write the object name, and this is an object for the denied web categories. And I choose the URL object as the object type. And then I can start adding categories to this object. So I add adult, I add child abuse content, I add filter avoidance, I also add hate speech, and I add pornography. So with these categories, this completes my object definition, and so I can save this object. This brings me back to the policy screen, and as you can see, the destination field is pre-populated with the object that I just created. So I'll leave the other fields as blank and save this policy. So this is the policy for web destinations that everyone is denied access to. Now I would like to create a couple more policies. The next policy will apply to nurses. My organization's policy requires me to grant them more restrictive access, so I'm going to deny them web categories that are not required for their work. To do this, I add another policy, type the name, and this policy is for nurses. Again, I choose the policy action as deny. And this time I choose the source as nurses, which is an Active Directory based object that I created. And then I choose the destination object, and I already created this object for nurses. To confirm that this is the right object, I can click the object, and then this shows me the web categories that I added to this object. So as you can see, this has many more categories in addition to the categories that we just denied access to everybody. So I have this policy for nurses. I save this policy. Now we have two. The third and final policy that we are going to create will be for my general staff, who will be allowed even more restrictive access. So again, I add a policy and I write the name of the policy. So as you can see, you can write descriptive names that are easy to understand, and they can be used for searching and looking at policies later to understand why these policies were created. So in this policy, I choose staff as the source, again based on AD, and then I again use the destination object that I already created. So here's the detail of that destination object. So you can not only see the web categories, but also it includes the object, the nurses object that we used earlier. Right? So as you can see, you can create hierarchical objects to match your firewall policies to your business rules. So save this policy. Now we have 3 policies, and we've created a few objects as well. So what we are going to do is we are going to commit these changes. So click the changes pending button, and this brings you to the commit and deploy changes screen. So here you can commit these changes. So right now it shows me all the pending changes, and then as I commit these changes, they go to the firewall group, and in that group I have 2 firewall devices. So the changes are deployed to these devices. As you can see, they are getting deployed. They are deployed to one device, and as we refresh this, you will see that the changes are deployed to both the devices. So once the deployment is complete, what we can do is we can test these changes. So in order to test the changes, what I can do is I can go to a separate client. I have 2 clients. In one of these clients, I have logged in as a manager, as a doctor. So in this screen, what I can do is I go to a website, which is Philip Morris USA. As you can imagine, this website belongs to the tobacco web category, and doctors are allowed access to most websites, so the doctor is able to go to this website. So now what I'll do is I will go to a different client, and on that client I will log in as a staff member. So I switch to the other client. In this client, I have turned on basic authentication, so I will be asked for my credentials. So here what I do is I go to the same website. This time it pops up a dialog. It asks me for the name, so I choose the username that belongs to staff Active Directory group, and here you can see that the access is denied because this website falls under tobacco category. So the user gets to know why the transaction has been denied. So now, as member of the staff, what I am required to do is I'm required to buy some stationery online. So I go to this website that is approved by my hospital, but you can see that the staff, as a member of the staff, I'm denied access to this site because it belongs in the shopping web category. So I raise a help desk ticket, and as an administrator I get this ticket, and let me create now an exception policy to grant access to this website. So now I'm creating this exception policy for, you can create this for a single user or a group of users. So write the name as usual, and this time instead of deny, it will be an allow policy, and I'm going to create this policy for all the staff members because all of them might need to use that specific website. So under destination, even though it's just a single URL, it is recommended to always use groups and objects. So this object is going to be created based on URL. So right now I have a single URL. The advantage is that you can control this object. As you change this object, it can be reused, and all the changes will flow to all the policies that are using this object. So I created this policy. This is an exception policy, which is the 4th policy that we created. Again, we go to the changes pending window, and we commit these changes. Once again, you will see that as we commit these changes, they are getting deployed to both the firewalls that are being managed by the central prime security manager. So you will see the changes getting deployed to one of the devices, and as you can see, as we refresh this, the changes will get deployed on both devices. So with this, the changed exception policy is deployed, and now we go back to our machine from where we logged in as Amy, who is a member of the staff, and refresh the screen, and you can see that access is granted to this website. So this is our exception policy that is being demoed here. So as an administrator, I can go back to my Prime Security Manager, and I can go to Event Viewer, and I can see the transactions that just took place. So I'm using Event Viewer to see the last 30 minutes, the transactions for the last 30 minutes. And what I can do is I can filter it by various criteria. Let me filter it by this specific website that the user just used. So as you filter this, it'll show you the transactions that match the filter criteria, and here you can see the transactions that match that criteria. You can see that Amy went to this website, which belongs in the shopping website category, and you can see various details of this transaction. So in this demo, we saw how you can create URL filtering policies for various groups in your organization. You can create exceptions based on specific URLs, and you can also view individual events in the event viewer. One final note before I end this demo. In this demo, I created deny policies in order to grant selective access. Those are the 3 deny policies for doctors, staff, and nurses. This is based on the premise, deny specific categories but allow everything else. Now, there's another paradigm that you could adopt based on your security posture in your organization, and that other paradigm could be allow specific categories but deny everything else. To do this, we would create a deny all policy at the bottom and then start creating allow policies for specific web categories and user groups. Both these options are available with ASA CX. Thanks for watching.